And to tell you the truth, I'm not going to go into the same detail as what I normally do because it just so happens that everybody at the table kind of knows some of the information that I was going to share. And that was for opening ceremony, I was going to tell you a little bit about the dream. And that was going to encompass what started coming to the table, tell you about the Harristons, and tell you about Susan Hutchison, who both white people who relatives in their family years ago owned slaves and who were both invited to their black cousins, I'm going to say, relatives in the same family to their family reunions, and how that impacted both people to the point that each of them decided that what they wanted to do is to come together. Well, what they did is they came together, and that was the birth of coming to the table. So initially, what they was thinking is that it would be the same makeup, that the very same makeup, but they decided after some thought and after seeing who was interested, people like Tom DeWolf, that what they would do instead, who's also a family whose ancestor owned slaves, what they decided to do instead is to open it up to blacks and whites. And so we would be our own family, that we would come together to see what we could do to deepen relationships. And so with that said, talking piece. So throughout tonight, what we're going to be doing is having conversations, and we have a talking piece. Here it is. So this year, I had an opportunity to go to the national, to come into the table national gathering, and there, one of the things that they had was an auction where you could auction for different pieces, and this little African letter opener doll for some reason resonated with me. And so at each of these, we're going to have discussions, and with that, the talking piece plays a very important part. The talking piece makes sure that everybody's voice is heard, that everyone gets an opportunity to share with everyone what it is that they're thinking on whatever it is that you're talking about. And so, with that said, and so, whoever's holding the talking piece has the table. And so it's a sacred, wonderful thing. And so no one else is allowed to speak, and no one else is allowed to question or anything while that person has the table. And so maybe at some other opportunity you might say something, but that's the thing. So when we go around, when we have the questions, it's by invitation. It's not, no one is obligated to speak. When we go around, it's by invitation only. We hope that you do speak because, I mean, we want to hear your input on each and everything. But if for any reason you're thinking that this particular question, for any reason I don't know, then it's okay. You go ahead, you pass that time. So with that said, in front of you, you don't have to pick it up. Our vision, coming to the table. Our vision for the United States is of a just and truthful society that acknowledges and seeks to heal from the racial wounds of the past, from slavery and the many forms of racism that it spawned. Our mission, coming to the table, provides leadership, resources, and a supportive environment for all who wish to acknowledge and heal wounds from racism that is rooted in the United States history of slavery. And so, our approach, the coming to the table approach of achieving our vision and our mission is grounded in the theories and practices of Strategies for Trauma, Awareness, and Resilience, STAR. That's a great program at the Eastern Mennonite College. There's a class, there's a wonderful class on that, and next year that's my aim to take it. Well, with this, we have a particular focus to transforming historical harms, also something that they speak a great deal about there. So we use circle process and touchstones to create a space in which participants feel safe enough and motivated to do the work. And so after that, the one thing that you're going to hear us talking about a whole lot is the 4 interrelated practices we're coming to the table. Martha Rollins, who some of you may have heard of, loves to call this the legs of the table. So with the vision and the mission being our table of what it is that we aim to do, our legs of the table would be uncovering history, making connections, working towards healing, and taking action. Now, that's a whole, so we're using circle process, we'll be using that tonight. There's a whole process in starting a relationship with using circle practice where we establish our values and come up with what our goals would be. So this has already been done for our organization, and so I'm going to read, I'll read over these quickly, it won't take but a second. And so that we can all be at the same place at the beginning on what it is that we want to do. Inclusion, respect and tolerance, honesty, truthfulness and transparency, justice, compassion, mercy and forgiveness, love, peace and nonviolence, and reconciliation. Now, on the back of the sheet, it goes into more details about each of those. And I encourage you, at the very bottom of that sheet is the webpage for Coming to the Table, which is just a wealth of information about what we are. So, why are we here? What do we want to do? We want to form relationships. And so hopefully the people around the table, and as we grow, we'll be coming together to have what Donita calls the uncomfortable conversations. And so in this, that's why it's important that we know to kind of like respect that we're not here to fix anyone. If someone says something that makes you feel just a tad bit uncomfortable, then it is okay to let them know. And one of the things they mention is that you can say, ouch. And then maybe explain that, you know, when you said such and such, that was a little hurtful. When you said that, it made me feel such and such a way. And then maybe during your time when you're speaking, if you happen to say something and you realize that people are looking at you kind of crazy, that you might have said something just a little, then it's okay to say, oops. And then say, well, you know, no harm was meant by that. What I was trying to say is thus and so, and I might have used the wrong term or phrase in trying to express that particular thing. And so that's it. Deepening relationships and realizing that. So with that said, I have an agenda. With that said,